With faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to the duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. Every great cause begins as a movement, becomes a business, and eventually degenerates into a racket. I've always liked the moonless night best. It's easier to say things in the dark. It's easier to be yourself. When you go in search of honey, you must expect to be stung by bees. Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
Be with someone who inspires you and makes you be the best version of yourself. You owe no one explanation of why you do what you do, especially those who ask not to help, to judge you. It's never overreacting to ask for what you want and need. Sometimes, some lies that spoken with high confidence could be more receptive than facts that spoken with doubt. It is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams.
Always blow your own trumpet. Blowing someone else's is unhygienic. To understand the limitation of things, desire them. Communism is the final logic of the dehumanization of man.
I was bold in the pursuit of knowledge, never fearing to follow truth and reason, to whatever results they led. Every person has a right to risk their own life for the preservation of it. Remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Have faith in your ability. You will do just fine. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves.
A paranoid is someone who knows a little of what's going on.
Cut not the wings of your dreams, for they are the heartbeat and the freedom of your soul. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted.
A conscious human is driven by their conscience, not popular opinion.
If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth.
History, Stephen said, is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake.
Sorrow looks back, worry looks around, faith looks up.
It would be so nice if something made sense for a change.
Nothing is necessitated whose opposite is possible.
Be like seeds. Do not see dirt thrown at you as your enemy, but as ground to grow.
The sharpest minds often ruin their lives by overthinking the next step, while the dull win the race with eyes closed. There is no fate which cannot be surmounted by scorn. Learning to focus on the big picture will help you keep things in a proper perspective. As long as you gave everything you had and you didn't let it break you, it could never be considered a failure. We cannot go far in life if we only take the path that everyone is taking. When you're too tired and feel like giving up on life, sit down and ponder over the journey of water. You're always with yourself, so you might as well enjoy the company. I am not an optimist, but a great believer of hope. The human person finds his perfection in seeking and loving what is true and good. Don't give up. You are closer than you think. Don't be scared to live your life without judgment. Life is like yoga. The only way you can enjoy it is by relaxing into any position you happen to find yourself in.
So shut up, live, travel, adventure, bless, and don't be sorry. Don't waste your time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear.
Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from. This body is fragile. It is just flesh. Listen to the heartbeat. Life depends on the pumping of a muscle. A daily dose of daydreaming heals the heart, soothes the soul, and strengthens the imagination. Sometimes change was good. Sometimes it was even exactly what you needed. A desire not to butt into other people's business is at least 80% of all human wisdom.
Now I know what success is. Living your truth. Sharing it.
Some of us are busy doing things. Some of us are busy complaining. Don't half-state yourself. You're the most variable person, because every big thing started from a small one. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. One of the most healing things you can do is recognize where in your life you are your own poison. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to become even better. Where joy grows deep, sorrow must deepen. The greater one's pleasures, the greater the pain. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things. Treachery and violence are spears pointed at both ends. They wound those who resort to them worse than their enemies. What you believe you can receive, if you doubt it, you will do without it.
It doesn't matter how great your shoes are if you don't accomplish anything in them.
Ruin is a gift. Ruin is the road to transformation.
Respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment.
The right way is always the difficult way, but it's the only way that connects us with our soul.
You see me walking away. I see myself walking towards greatness.
In all debates, let truth be thy aim, not victory or an unjust interest.
We swallowed the chaos because we knew we didn't want to be ordinary.
Be kind to one another, even when it's not requested.
Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience.
What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. This is how the entire course of a life can be changed, by doing nothing. What makes earth feel like hell is our expectation that it should feel like heaven. One of the greatest journeys in life is overcoming insecurity and learning to truly not give a shit. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Sometimes it's better to stop trying to make sense of things. Life isn't clear-cut. There are always gray areas.
Once you bid farewell to discipline, you say goodbye to success.
I think that you've got to make something that pleases you and hope that other people feel the same way. Life is to be lived, not controlled, and humanity is won by continuing to play in face of certain defeat.
I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak. The truth does not change according to our ability to stomach it.
Read books, care about things, get excited. Try not to be too down on yourself. Enjoy the ever-present game of knowing. Life is like a book. Some chapters are sad, some are happy, but all are necessary for the full story.
Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see.
Every luxury must be paid for, and everything is a luxury, starting with being in this world. When I was about 8, I decided that the most wonderful thing next to a human being was a book. Associate with the noblest people you can find. Read the best books. Live with the mighty. But learn to be happy alone. And though you think the world is at your feet, it can rise up and tread on you. Everyone leaves. Learn how to survive alone. Different languages, the same thoughts, servant to thoughts and their masters.
It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. No other success can compensate for failure in the home. Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I am not sure about the universe.
Faith and reason are like two wings of the human spirit by which it soars to the truth. Everything you want in life is a relationship away. Capabilities are clearly manifested only when they have been realized. All the work you are doing in silence is opening doors. Trust your pace. I only seem negative to the fortunate. That's because I show the less fortunate that they aren't less fortunate after all. Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave till it gets to shore. You need more help than you know.
Conformity to the present is invisibility to the future.
Our ancestors have invented. We can at least innovate.
Most often, you don't own your own mind. You borrow it from society.
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. A concept is a brick. It can be used to build a courthouse of reason, or it can be thrown through the window. After all, if you do not resist the apparently inevitable, you will never know how inevitable the inevitable was. If you're still breathing, maybe it is not such a bad day after all.
You don't destroy what you want to acquire in the future.
Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. Normal is an illusion. What is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. If the moment is everything, then everything is time.
Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18.
The ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
A fool despises good counsel, but a wise man takes it to heart. That knowledge, which stops at what it does not know, is the highest knowledge.
Every passion borders on the chaotic, but the collector's passion borders on the chaos of memories. The point of modernity is to live a life without illusions while not becoming disillusioned. To have great pain is to have certainty. To hear that another person has pain is to have doubt. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. I would prefer a sword to fight duel, but a pen to plan a war.
I ought to go upright and vital and speak the rude truth in all ways.
My world is about stories that entertain, emotions that move, people you'll remember, literature that matters. The fundamental things in a man are not the things he explains, but rather the things he forgets to explain. Speaking up for people who don't have a voice is important. It's the right thing to do, even if it's hard. Just because people run after you doesn't mean they can't stay away from you. Don't take anyone for granted. When we stop fighting against death, we are able to wake up to our lives. Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not. The cause of most of man's unhappiness is sacrificing what he wants most for what he wants now. There is no sickness worse for me than words that to be kind must lie. That's the problem with life. You never get enough time to stare at your ceiling and try to figure out what's going on. Those who are without compassion cannot see what is seen with the eyes of compassion.
He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing.
Earning is not possible without learning, and learning is not possible without burning. You should always do what you can to make life sweeter. Sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them.
It's always the ones who are the quietest who often have the greatest things to say.
Don't change your mind just because people are offended. Change your mind if you're wrong. We don't meet people face to face, but waste our time on social media's embrace.
Earth's crammed with heaven, but only he who sees takes off his shoes.
Life is a magical journey, so travel endlessly to unfold its profound and heart-touching beauty.
If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough.
Sacrifice a few years of comfort for decades of freedom. The splendid thing about falling apart silently is that you can start over as many times as you like. H is for habit. Winners make a habit of doing the things losers don't want to do.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality.
But I do know which is the least popular. The truth.
Silence is a true friend who never betrays.
A thing may happen and be a total lie. Another thing may not happen and be truer than the truth. Only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can. I am serving the purpose for which I was designed. Therefore, I am satisfied with my existence. There's nothing wrong with not understanding yourself. Pursue what catches your heart, not what catches your eyes. Success is what happens after you've survived all your mistakes. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience is often a result of lack of wisdom. The torch of doubt and chaos. This is what the sage steers by. Thank people who help you because they make you happy. Thank people who don't help you because they make you strong. We all have stories we tell ourselves until we believe them to be true. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. Do not wait for life. Do not long for it. Be aware always and at every moment that the miracle is in the here and now.
An unexciting truth may be eclipsed by a thrilling falsehood.
When one has a grateful heart, life is so beautiful. Nobody will save you, some can't even save themselves. The harder you work, the luckier you will get. My fake plants died because I did not pretend to water them. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script.
Unless you enter the tiger's lair, you cannot get hold of the tiger's cubs. That is all very senseless, but this senselessness has a pretty mouth, and it smiles.
Choosing kindness is the ultimate expression of evolved consciousness. Grow by being kind. The only person that has power to put boundaries on your dreams is you. Being able to write becomes a kind of shield, a way of hiding, a way of too instantly transforming pain into honey. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. The truth was only another mask, even if it was the best fit, closest to skin and all that lay beneath. The art of being wise is knowing what to overlook.
As for methods of prayer, all are good, as long as they are sincere.
The bounties of space, of infinite outwardness were three: empty heroics, low comedy, and pointless death. You never change your life until you step out of your comfort zone. Change begins at the end, your comfort zone. The truth that makes men free is for the most part the truth which men prefer not to hear.
When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. To realize the truth, you have to cross the boundaries of all religions and prophets.
The world needs your unique path. Chart it fearlessly. Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or do not make them.
Take care of your body. Remember, health is another form of wealth.
Life moves very fast. It rushes from heaven to hell in a matter of seconds. Even if no salvation should come, I want to be worthy of it at every moment. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. What you do not wish upon yourself, extend not to others. Don't believe what your eyes are telling you. All they show is limitation. Look with your understanding. That's what fiction is for. It's for getting at the truth when the truth isn't sufficient for the truth. Who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. You will receive everything you need when you stop asking for what you do not need. The difference between greed and ambition is a greedy person desires things he isn't prepared to work for. Don't tell me about your God with your words. Show me about your God with your actions. Everything smaller than heaven bores us because only heaven is bigger than our hearts. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life.
It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little.
You don't get to choose not to pay a price. You only get to choose which price you pay. Once in a while it really hits people that they don't have to experience the world in the way they have been told to. Those who wish to read always find a book. There are new chapters, new pages, and new journey to embark on.
Sometimes not getting what you want is a brilliant stroke of luck.
If you want to tell the world who you are, then the world must first show what you do. A man, though wise, should never be ashamed of learning more, and must unbend his mind.
Life is all about becoming a better version of yourself.
You are not just for the right or left, but for what is right over the wrong. I don't think that there are any limits to how excellent we could make life seem. The truth cuts like the sharpest knife I've ever known. I am inspired by people who are willing to confront the shadows of themselves and find light. Life is a waste of time, and time is a waste of life. So let's all get wasted and have the time of our lives.
There's no such thing in anyone's life as an unimportant day.
Imagine no limitations. Decide what's right and desirable before you decide what's possible.
Fear is the polio of the soul, which prevents our walking by faith.
Stop giving meaningless praise and start giving meaningful action.
The most important person you meet in life is your higher self.
The only thing that can make you feel unexplainable feelings is by loving unconditionally.
Other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
Life, it's not just about watching the stars, it's about shining with them.
Rewards for good service should not be deferred a single day. I would never die for my beliefs, because I might be wrong. Luck implies an absolute absence of any principle. When you treat your failures as lessons, you can never fail.
Don't wait, the time will never be just right. No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. There are some choices you can only make once. You can't go back to where you made a choice and then take the other one. You must be the change you wish to see in the world.
Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. Being unconquerable lies with yourself. Being conquerable lies with your enemy. Creating individuality, which creates and protects others' individualities, is good.
The goal is timeless. Chase the moment and you lose.
Better a broken promise than none at all.
The true hypocrite is the one who ceases to perceive his deception, the one who lies with sincerity. Forgive yourself before you die, then forgive others.
Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. For any sin, we all suffer. That is why our suffering is endless.
Do not let your grand ambitions stand in the way of small but meaningful accomplishments. When all seems to be against you, remember, a ship sometimes has to sail against the current, not with it. We cannot be sure of having something to live for, unless we are willing to die for it.
The best knowledge is knowing yourself and your inner being. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust.
It's not whether your glass is empty or full, it's what you do with it that really matters. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. When you do the right thing, you get the feeling of peace and serenity associated with it. Do it again and again.
Savor everything. Cling to nothing. Live now, because living then won't be any better. If everyone wants to be somebody, I want to be somebody else.
Be happy in the moment. That's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more.
It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. A lack of clarity could put the brakes on any journey to success.
The most wasted of days is one without laughter. There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit.
Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive. Si no usaba esta vida, entonces la estaba desperdiciando.
Life will never conform to all of our desires, ever. But memory is like plaster. Peel it back, and you just might find a completely different picture. Civilization is only possible for deeply unpleasant animals. It is only an ape that can be truly civilized. The words he said, too, must be human enough to bleed. My head'll explode if I continue with this escapism. Maybe the truth is, I really want to like you instead.
Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. You will always find an answer in the sound of water.
Sometimes you need to burn bridges to stop yourself from crossing them again.
Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. Stay in the center, and you will be ready to move in any direction. Humanity must forgive humanity, for only then can we be humane.
Attitude is a choice. Think positive thoughts daily. Believe in yourself. There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for.
And there are really never endings, happy or otherwise.
If your absence doesn't affect them, your presence never mattered. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy. Oh, what a tangled web we weave, when first we practice to deceive. I'm hungry for a juicy life, I lean out my window at night, and I can taste it out there, just waiting for me. I do not believe anyone can be perfectly well who has a brain and a heart. Goal setting is the secret to a compelling future. Life's greatest gift is the freedom it leaves you to step out of it whenever you choose. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. There's a tragic clash between truth and the world. Pure, undistorted truth burns up the world. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Fault always lies in the same place, with him weak enough to lay blame. If you're reading this, congratulations, you're alive. If that's not something to smile about, then I don't know what is. People only lie because they are afraid of the truth. Life is pleasant. Death is peaceful. It's the transition that's troublesome.
We are good to others only because we think that that is or will be good for us.
Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. No life is a waste, the blue man said. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we're alone.
I do not know everything. Still many things I understand.
One word of encouragement can be enough to spark someone's motivation to continue with a difficult challenge. To live is so startling, it leaves little time for anything else.
Glory resides in the hearts of those you inspire, not in fleeting moments of fame.
The perfect man of old looked after himself first before looking to help others.
Don't worry about the negative people may say about you. Learn from it and move on. To go outside what your charge was and to try to solve everything yourself is dangerous.
To live is to change, to acquire the words of a story, and that is the only celebration we mortals really know.
Make improvements, not excuses. Seek respect, not attention.
If you take responsibility for yourself, you will develop a hunger to accomplish your dreams. Sometimes letting go is simply changing the labels you place on an event, looking at the same event with fresh eyes. The darkening of the world makes the irrationality of art rational, radically darkened art.
Patience is the only way you can endure the gray periods.
Don't rush the process. Trust it. Great things take time. Trusting yourself means living out what you already know. Be true. Wrong does not cease to be wrong because the majority share in it.